So YouTube, I'm sitting in my kitchen and stuff. I just woke up this morning. I see this sitting out here, and my buddy dropped down another ATV. It's nothing new, but you know what? Let me first get me started of why I'm talking about this. Well, you know what? I was actually thinking about this, and I actually had a couple other projects. So these are just two Tao Tao 110s. He got these things for like free, so. He wanted me to try to get him to run. I don't know how well I'm going to get this one to run, but, anyways, so, this one I got running when I was driving around, but it runs like shit. It needs a pilot jet and a carburetor. It's totally clogged up. I got the carb clean, so it runs good, but it won't go to idle and stuff, and anything had it down below half throttle won't run. Here's a giant piece of shit, so we're just going to tear this one down. This thing sat out for about 5 years outside without a spark plug and stuff inside it. You actually turn the motor over, it turns, it's very stiff, and it feels like there's almost like a scraping, so I think there might be rust in that cylinder. So pull the head off, see how bad it is. Maybe I can just wind up honing it and clean out the rings, and we still got a good engine, and then drain the oil and make sure that's all changed out and stuff. But that's only if we're lucky. But yes, I do still have the mini chopper. I actually bought that off the guy for $100, so it was worth it. But yeah, so these are both like Tao Taos and stuff, and they're both 110s. They are, you know what, let me just explain something about these real quick. Don't buy these. I know they're very cheap, and you think that you can get your kid because your kid wants a four-wheeler. You know what? You're being absolutely retarded if you're going to go buy one of these things. You wind up spending almost twice as much in parts as what you paid for the ATV. You'll pay $400 for this, and you'll pay a lot more in parts. Because what's going to wind up happening is these things break so bad. And look at this. Under 16. Well, guess what? I'm 16, and I tell you what, I can't even sit. It's ridiculous. This thing doesn't even do 20 miles an hour probably. I was riding this thing full on and stuff, and number one, I am actually very small for my age. I cannot even sit on this thing. I mean, I have no leg room or anything. So under 16, absolutely freaking ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I ride that. That's a little big for me, but you know. Just totally ridiculous, you know. But these rules the regulations that come out with this and stuff, it's stupid. I could put a little 25cc weed whacker motor in here and make these things go much faster. These things are so inefficient. They're just big pieces of shit. I'm sorry to those of you who own this, but they are. It's ridiculous. So, yeah, that's what I got for the work on stuff. So these are just the little Tao Tao projects. Hopefully I can get done with these because these are big headaches. They have so many problems, and just even as I go to start them up and test them out, another problem develops. That's how shitty they are. Like, they literally develop problems just as I'm starting these up and testing them, and they all sat outside for how many years. And the blue one I got running, but it sat outside for how many years with the same guy. Whoever owned these was also a retard because he let it sit outside without the spark plug, and it probably assuming that the spark plug was bad, then never went to change it. Well, you can't do that, so that thing smokes like a bitch, and I'm pretty sure that cylinder was probably had some rust growing in it and stuff, and because of that now the rings are probably rusted and stuff, and that's why it's smoking, you know. It's probably all shot. It's really hard to start too. It's probably got low compression. Put another stator on it, and I wound up switching it to that one there because that one didn't have spark, but then it turns out it wasn't the stator, it was the coil, so that one's got a used stator on and stuff. So this is the only one that I can see actually having hope, but I don't know, you know. I sure as hell wouldn't want these. I'd tear them all down and put out a big parts lot and sell them on eBay with the entire parts lot of these little things, you know. Make someone get some, you know. I wouldn't even sell them as individual parts. You wouldn't get enough money for them, you know. The parts are too cheap and everything, so I'd just tear them all down and sell them out as individual parts. But I also did clean up the shop and stuff, and I got my shop looking a little better. Other sections also cleaned up over in there, but, you know, But anyways, that's good. Oh, and I got the LT80 back together. I still have this thing. I never got rid of it. I always liked this thing. It was kind of a neat quad to play around on, but still needs another clutch, and the rear secondary clutch. It was welded back together, which my friend's dad did that many years ago for me, and he didn't know the distance and stuff to it, so it's off and stuff. So I still need another secondary clutch, but I got it going. I was mudding with it. Runs kind of shitty, but you know, I got it to run, so that's all that matters for now. You know, I got some other stuff I got to do, but yeah, there's some more projects over there and stuff, and SpeedX needs some more carb work again, but you know, that thing, I mean, you remember seeing that from a long time ago. It was ridiculous what I all done to that, but you know, now I learned a little more, and I actually know what I'm doing for 100%. You know, I was one of those kids who thought they knew what they were doing, and you know, now I actually do. You know, I actually, you know, I may not do it all too much down there, but I build motors and stuff. Like there's these little smaller engines. You know, I'm starting to get into more of cars and stuff, and learn a little bit more about them. You know, figuring out what all this newer technology stuff is and everything. But you know, to me, this stuff's the easiest stuff in the world. Before I probably would have never been able to figure out how to clean a carburetor on that when I first started my channel. So, you know, just excuse some of my older videos. But you know, that's it. Just some on those little Tao Taos. You know, they fucking suck. I'm sorry.